Coach Roberto here with Go Get It Baseball. I got one of my good friends, Coach Farrell. He's the varsity head coach for Rancho Cucamonga Baseball. Right here in front of his beautiful field. And there's a couple of questions I wanted to ask him. Being a coach and coaching a 12U, when you have players that are coming up from travel ball, that are coming up looking to get on a team at high school, this is the whole thing. They train, they do travel ball in order to get a spot on. Besides their athletic ability, being able to throw the ball, hit the ball, run, academics, the way they hold themselves on the field, off the field, what they do at home, the extra work in. What are you looking for in a player when he comes up and you see that he has the ability to make it, but there's other spots where he needs to be able to obviously make those changes and adjustments?
Yeah, I mean, I think that the first kind of point of emphasis when you're coming from the travel world into a high school program is you got to understand that the program side of high school is very important. We get really accustomed to, showing up on a weekend and maybe it's a team of these 10 or 11 guys, and the next weekend it's a team of 10 or 11 guys. I know you're doing it a little bit different, kind of keep you guys together, but being a part of a program, you got to understand, especially here, we run, obviously we have our varsity, our JV, and our freshmen, but we all are aspects of the program. So from the day one when they make that freshman team or wherever they end up as freshmen coming in, the concept of, hey, this is a program, this is a 4-year process. It's a lot different than coming from the travel world, and for parents and players alike, it can be kind of a little bit of a shock into how it works, because at the high school level, we're looking to put together teams that can compete, which means obviously we want to go for league titles and CIF titles and whatnot, but we have 3 levels in which we got to have full teams for. So sometimes really good players maybe don't necessarily make a varsity club because, hey, we got to make sure that they're ready for next year, or we're backloaded at a position, so we need to make sure PT's happening, whatever it is. So that's the first thing that kind of comes to mind. As for the ability set, obviously we all know kids that can play, but having the ability to process information, learn new lingo, and really start learning the game, kind of the baseball IQ side of things, is really important. There's a lot of kids out there that are super, super talented, but when you start actually implementing a sign system or a defensive philosophy or an offensive philosophy, how it's not, you would call it, independent contractors. Yep. We don't want, obviously you're up in the box and you're going at that pitcher, but we have a program philosophy and a lineup philosophy for that day, and we all got to be bought into that. And sometimes from the travel world to the high school program, that kind of lost. You touched on academics. Academics are huge. Obviously to play high school baseball, you have to have a 2.0. Here we kind of hold a little standard a little bit higher. We're 2.5. The reality is the majority of kids aren't going to play college baseball. Even less are going to play, professional baseball. So our academic is huge, right? We got to make sure that we are preparing young men, for college, or maybe they're a trade school guy or whatever it is, right? We have to use the game and enforce those academic side of things for the time management, being able to work around our type of schedules, in order to make sure that when they leave us, they're prepared.
Yeah, they're prepared. Yeah, I like the part where you said that there's no independent contractors. I know I've told my kids many times, look, there's no heroes in this game. If we need you to pop out, we need you to pop out into the outfield to get a run in. You guys got to do your jobs. And I love the part where you said, as coming in as a travel ball, at the 4-year high school, at the 4-year program where you are developing and you're building them up to move them up. Whereas oftentimes in travel ball, they want to go in right away. Everybody has their set position. They're never going to move from there. And if you move them from there, then they're not going to play for you. Do you often have kids who have come from travel ball saying, hey, I'm a shortstop, period, and I don't play anywhere else, and then come to find out he's an outfielder and he no longer plays infield?
Right. Well, the reality, especially, we're blessed where we are at this school and in this league. The majority of our guys are pretty good athletes that end up coming in. We get I was the all tournament this, or I was the all star here, or whatnot. The reality is, most of the guys who make it, we're that as well. So yeah, we got guys that come in. Hey, I'm a shortstop and a starting pitcher. Sweet, that's great. We might have 26 other guys that were that same thing. So our job as coaches is to then look at the skill sets and try and decide, what maximizes your ability to the best possible level. Sometimes, yeah, you know, you're a shortstop, but maybe, you know, body type, feet, and arm action makes you a third baseman or a second baseman, or, you know, maybe, you know, you can fly, right? And maybe you're not the quickest hand guy, so we put you in the outfield or something like that. You know, it can be tough. It can be tough on guys. You know, that's where communication is key between coaches and players. Ultimately, the family, you know, gets involved with that as well. But yeah, the reality is when you get to the high school level, especially, you know, like I said, we're fortunate here. Yeah, all the kids come in as
have athletic ability.
Yeah, exactly.
What the other thing I really want to touch on is time management. In practices, when we have somebody at bat and there's two people waiting to get their at bats, I always tell everybody, get your at bats before you get your at bat. Be timing the pitcher, be getting them ready. Don't waste your time and just stand there holding the bat. I know they're young, and you know I try to implement some of the things where they got to get in the mentality of already being in the game before they even jump in and get thrown into it, or when people are you know, when they're grounding balls, seeing what's going on, what they could have changed if they were in a part of that play. What do you tell your players when you guys are taking BP, when you guys have two, you know, a backup to the shortstop, a backup to the second, he's waiting his turn? What do you tell them when you guys run into the drills?
Yeah, we try and keep everything as game-like as possible. So yeah, I mean, we'll throw our batting practice and whatnot, but everything's a live rep, and we try and keep everything as close to game speed as possible. So you know, let's say we do have a hitting group, and we got, you know, obviously the guys hitting, and we got a couple guys off this side. We try and implement like some sort of tee station where they're timing the tee off of the batting practice pitcher's throw. Other guys are just sitting there working their timing, because it's a big part. You're exactly right. I mean, just because one guy's hitting and you're standing there, you could still get, if it's a round of 5 and you're with 4 other guys, you can get 20 other mental reps before you even step in the box. Defensively, you know, we do as much as we can to keep that live across the diamond. You know, our outfielders are always in a position. We don't just quote unquote shag. We have defensive groups during our leading stations. So everything should be a live rep. A big thing, you know, kids love to see fungos. They want to see fungo. But the reality is seeing a batted ball is 10 times better than seeing a fungo. I can sit and control a fungo all day and give you a nice 1-2 hopper every time. But seeing a ball off the bat, especially for outfielders, getting live reads off the bat, seeing swing type, angle off the bat, getting those live reads is huge, man. It's huge because, you know, you can sit there and get your work, or you can sit in the back and, you know, do nothing. You might as well, if you're out there, you might as well be maximizing your opportunity and trying to invest in yourself as much as you can.
Yeah. I'm going to open up to questions real quick. Does anybody have a question for Coach Farrell?
Do your grades have to stay higher than state baseball?
Yeah, so to play at the high school level, you have to have a 2.0. And the 2.0 average, that's basically a C average. And we have certain deadline dates that happen. So you could be a 3.0 all year and have a bad week or two, and that happens to drop below 2.0 on one of our CIF deadline dates. Now you're ineligible to play. So making sure you're taking care of it in the classroom is huge. Truly believe that our players that are better in the classroom usually translate to become better on the field as well. Just because it's a work ethic, and you know, intelligence is important, right? It's really easy to sit in the back of the classroom and do nothing, but we tell our guys as well, it's harder, it takes more work to fail a class than it does to get a B. You really have to work to fail a class. You have to make a conscious effort to not do your homework. You have to make a conscious effort not to put in, you know, that 55 minutes you're in the class time. You know, you're making a conscious effort to not do something. So we really enforce in our guys, hey, we're there for a reason, right? Get to the front of the class and, you know, be engaging with your teacher. If it's group projects, you know, be the leader of your group project, and make sure when grades come out, you know, there's no issues.
I think one of the biggest things as coaches is we're not just trying to make you good athletes all around. We also want you guys to be good humans, be good citizens, you know, be responsible, be leaders. That's what you guys need to grow up to be. That's what everybody needs to grow up to be, and that's what eventually we want What we want to hand over to the high school coaches when you guys get there is, you know, good athletes, good citizens, good people, good students, everything all the way around. So all they have to worry about is coaching you and not worrying about what you're doing at home, what you're doing when you're not at home, and inside the classroom. It's all taken care of. But other than that, thank you so much for the interview.
Man. No, thank you. Appreciate it.
Always good seeing you, and always good seeing your boys play.
Awesome, appreciate it.
Thank
you
you.
guys.